Welcome to Herschy and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Shut your holes, grab your brajoles. It's the Herschy and the Keegs Show, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Let's do this. Let's make this happen.
Let's grab each other's brajoles,
That's right.
baby.
Ooh, you know.
I like how you had a little food twang to your intro based on the success we're riding off of last week's show with Big Al and Vicky.
Ooh, what a good observation.
That was what a week we had with them. We've been riding the wave. I'm sure our fans. We have a whole bunch of new viewers that tacked on after last week.
Yeah.
And we had some real action.
We had a little viral video there.
We had some viral activity. We had several TikToks from last week that hit in the 5,000 range, but we have one that's 20,000 plus views and rising with several hundred likes, which in the world of TikTok is decent, good.
Yeah.
You know, it's
for
like
a couple of schlubs like us.
We're pretty proud of it, and we're gonna just ride that wave. We got some stuff to go over this week. Tony's got his oil can over there. I don't know what that is.
It's a Tin
what
Man.
Was that? What do you got, Tin Man? What do you got? Tony's got his farm. But we have a whole bunch of shit to cover. And how you doing, buddy boy? Everything good?
I'm doing good. I can't. Who was sitting in this chair before me? Mario Bosco?
Why is it? Are you
it's
high
like
up
very
or low?
No, I'm very low down.
Oh,
Maybe
low
it would be
down.
opposite.
You want me to?
No, I'm good. I'm actually. I like it like this.
Pump you up?
Pump me up. No, I actually kind of like it like this.
You can barely see the Hershey and Keegs emblem on your shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are your knees scraping the ground? Oh my goodness gracious!
But this is it's different.
Yeah, it's a little different. You do feel. I feel like I'm tall. Actually,
Yeah, exactly.
which is
Look at you, big boy.
Thank you. Thank
Hey
you very
now.
kindly. So you had a good weekend. You were working.
good
You were
weekend.
busy. I saw you somewhere in a sports jacket working a gig.
Oh
and
yeah.
Then you were
did,
the central.
I had a couple of sports jackets.
Let's hear it.
What did I do Friday night? Friday night I was doing something in the comedy world. Let's see where I was. Let's see, because I don't remember. I don't remember what happened.
That's
yesterday.
what a busy
I
comic
remember
does.
Saturday night I was at the Central Islip Fire Department.
Yes, you were with
Which was
Ivory
awesome.
Fields and some other people of that.
That was of what?
Of that comedic ilk.
Oh
ilk?
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, it was a great one. There's John Butera, Eric Heft, Christopher
wow.
Brian Roach.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a
Holy
powerhouse of a
shit!
show.
It was heavy hitter night.
And it was great. It was Central Islip Firehouse. I used to work in Central Islip at a school, and a lot of the teachers belonged to that firehouse. So I got to see a lot of people I haven't seen in a while. What a wonderful show that was. Friday night I was here. I was here at Governor's in the main room.
Son of a bitch.
What a show that was.
What was that all about?
What was Richie Byrne and Pat O'Rourke.
Oh, that was the Richie Byrne Pat O'Rourke show.
Yeah, and we had a blast. We had a great packed room in there.
Yep.
What a show. We had there was a great show going on in the Giggle Room
Giggle
at the
Room?
same time with Eric Tartaglione was in there.
Wow.
With Mike Burton. Like it
Jeez
was
Louise.
There was a lot of talent in this building.
Lot of
that
talent.
night. Yeah, we were waiting for you.
That central. I did that Central Islip Firehouse room probably about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great room.
It really is. That firehouse in particular loves to party.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, John O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah.
He was like a chief there or something. But
He was a chief sergeant.
He's the chief executive fireman.
Board member. Yes.
Yeah. So, but he runs the bar there, and like
Right.
they go to there to party and drink and laugh, and they were nice. There was a midget at the front table.
I was not there.
I was like, I walk in, I'm like, Hershey's on the show.
Tony, put your mic down. We want to hear your voice.
I was like, Mark's here. I'm like, oh no, that's not Mark. That's a real live little person.
Oh, so there was an
actual
little person,
yeah. Right in the front row,
right
too.
in the front, yeah.
And then he was sitting next to some lady with an oxygen tank.
Oh wow!
I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, that's a carnival act.
It's exactly, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this table 9 from the wedding
the
singer?
midget and the suffocator.
Yeah,
That's the little act that they do. Yeah.
I'm like, why do they sit the freaks up at the front?
Right, it's table 9 at wedding singer.
Wedding singer, yeah. The mutants at table 9.
I love that.
But yeah, so it's distracting.
Very distracting. I did that room once with it was me, Carrie, I just remember Carrie fucking demolished.
Yeah, I'm sure.
She demolished.
That's a Carrie crowd.
Like I came off stage. This is 10 years ago, obviously.
That's got to be when Rick Morgan was booking it, I'm sure, right?
No. It was I never worked for Rick Morgan, so it was after Rick Morgan. But Carrie, so she went on obviously after me. She's the headliner. But I got off stage and I'm like, man, I fucking did really good. And then Carrie came up and I'm like, damn,
I didn't really do that great. Yeah,
I did pretty good. But when you feel like you really fucking destroyed.
Yeah, exactly.
And then someone goes up and really destroys.
Yeah, exactly. That's doing well.
Right. I mean, I'll never use. No matter how well I've ever done, I'll never say that I killed. I don't like
it.
that.
I hate when people I see on Facebook, yo, that crowd was fire. I lit them up last night.
I don't ever say that.
You sound like an idiot.
But like, the truth is, like the comics that I've seen kill, I've seen Carrie kill, or Keith Anthony kill, or Mac Burke kill, or Monty kill. Yeah. Like killing is a different. You can do well. Yeah. Doing well is one thing.
It's different than,
but killing
and
is
you can feel like you kill it. Also, especially if you're on a show with a bunch of mediocre comics.
Right.
But then when you have like a Carrie go up or Matt Burke go up and like, oh, that's what killing is.
Yes. Yeah.
That's why I'll never say it.
No, but I mean, you and have kind of worked yourself into a different level now, which I think you guys are, probably in that you can use that word, but not that you would.
But I wouldn't.
Yeah. No, I like
I'm
that.
very humble, if nothing else.
I like that. But I'm proud of you. I know you had a good weekend.
Fun weekend. How was your weekend?
My weekend I was in Binghamton, visited the girls for a family weekend.
Very nice.
Anna performed with the dance team for the pep rally for the big Division I Binghamton sports thingamajig. So
very nice.
We did that. We had a great time. It was a good weekend. We just went up Saturday morning, came back Sunday night, spent a couple of days up there. And I've been chomping on the bit because we got a lot to cover.
We do.
We got a lot of stuff to cover.
Horse racing term, the chomping on the bit.
We got a lot chomping on the bit type of stuff. There is one. I don't know if this is a fly, if this is a fruit fly.
It's some kind of a gnat.
I don't know what is going on here. But there is some housekeeping stuff that I want to cover. There's no good time to bring up a sad story. So I want to do it and get it out of the way.
Now's a good time.
Now's a good time. Yeah. So. Do you? Am I right in saying that you had a dog for a very long time, you and your family, that was very beloved and passed a few years ago, and his name was Ozzy?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah.
And so I remember your mom and dad were fanatics about Ozzy. You
Ozzy's a great dog. Yeah.
Great dog, and passed 3-4 years ago, probably.
So Max is probably 3 now.
Okay.
So it was about a year. So 4 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. So I remember how fond you were of Ozzy. Well.
Is Max okay?
Yeah, no, Max is good. In a little bit of a sad note, though. So you've heard me. I've mentioned them on the show actually before, and certainly I think I even mentioned their dog. My close friends who live in Levittown, the Caveney family, who I've mentioned them before, and these are like, to me. Listen, there's a lot of people in Levittown. I know a lot of people in Levittown. Over the years, I really have found that I like less people in Levittown than I ever used to. But the Caveney family, to me, is kind of like salt of the earth.
Yeah.
Josh is a retired NYPD. Lynn is a nurse who worked like every single day through COVID in like the emergency room or like high impact stuff.
What they are.
Yeah, they really are. They're heroic people.
They're real life superheroes.
They just listen. These are wonderful people. They got three kids: Haley, Rory, and Nolan. And their dog's name was Ozzy, the Ozman.
Oh no, yeah. I used to call mine the Ozman.
The Ozman, yeah, that's what they call him. And Ozzy was a cool pooch. And word came down a few days ago that the Ozman passed on.
Oh no.
And so Ozman was like he was like a mixed breed, like black dog. He used to have like a little almost like a little billy goat.
Oh yeah, I like
and he was just a chill mofo. Like he was just the coolest. He was just like the Caveney, just cool people. Yeah. And I think I told this story maybe a year or two ago, but they live right around the block from me. So I was over, where the bowling alley is in Levittown by my house?
Yep.
They live right over there.
Okay.
And I was over there one day. I was walking or on my bike or something, and there's a big field across from their house. And sometimes Josh, the dad, will walk Ozzy there. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm passing by the field one day, and It's just the Ozman.
Just the Ozman.
Just the Ozman. Just Ozman, like a little billy goat out in the field.
Yeah.
So I'm looking around. I don't see Rory, Haley, Lynn. I don't see, Nolan. I don't see Josh. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here, So I'm like Ozman? Because I wanted to make sure maybe he was just a different mixed breed dog that I didn't know. Yeah. But no, it was Ozman. So I was like, right Ozman? And he was like, oh. Like he looked at me like, like basically like he said Hersh,
Yeah.
And
Jew boy?
And I basically was like, are you supposed to be out here by yourself? I remember saying that to him like out loud. And he kind of gave me like a no.
He's kind of give you like, are you supposed to be out here by yourself?
Right, exactly. You seem too little to be out here. So I remember getting a hold of someone. I think I got a hold of Josh, and Josh was like, oh yeah, he must have gotten out, whatever. Ozman got home safely, nice. and he lived for many years after that, or a couple of years, whatever. And so I just wanted to kind of give Ozman a little pop because he was a great boy, and the kids are taking it pretty hard. 2 of them away at college, and then Rory, the younger sister, has kind of been missing her siblings during this whole thing. So all my love and deepest condolences to the Caveney family, and Ozman's looking down, and he's proud of you guys, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Ozman had a good life.
So I think that it's just like almost a law that if you have a dog named Ozzy and you call him the Ozman,
you got it.
He's a cool bastard,
Ozzy's a great dog name.
Yeah, really good. So rest in peace, the Ozman.
Both of them. Rest in peace, both Ozmen.
And they're up there together, the Ozmen. Yeah. Them and Ozzy Osbourne are up there together.
Ozzy Osbourne, Ozzy the security guy. They're all up there together.
They're all there.
Is he still around?
He's still around. It's the other fella, Ken and Cass, which that was sad, very sad. Right. And Ozzy Osbourne, I think, is still around, although you can hardly tell, though.
Yeah, no, he's
right.
Most of them's not here.
Yeah, most of them's not. But beyond that, we have a lot of shit to cover. I don't even know to the extent that you participated in the Trump rally. I don't know if I know you couldn't get in because you worked that day, and there was already 65,000 people there. Yeah. I saw you post pictures. Was that just because you were driven by? Is that what happened?
I drove by it because I wanted to see if I could get in. If it wasn't too crazy, I was going to try to go. Yeah. Actually, my cousin, I had one cousin who made it inside.
Okay.
And my
Peter
other
Blakeman
cousin,
Peter Matthew.
I think Pete said he was going.
Okay.
Blakeman did not go, but Pete said he was going. I don't know if he actually went.
Charlie Blakeman. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but my cousin Tim actually took the
Tim
train.
Rollins.
Yeah, you know Tim. Good old Tim. Today's his birthday, actually.
Happy birthday, Timmy
Tim
boy.
Rollins.
We know you're watching, buddy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He hung out in the parking lot because they had projectors and.
So I thought you were going to go watch on the big screens.
I was going to, but then Carlo wanted to go. We ended up going to a show in Queens just to hang out because Joey Diaz was going to be there.
Oh, did he show up? Joey Diaz?
He did. Yeah, it was, and I've never seen him before live, so I wanted to go chill. Oh, what a great show that was!
Where was
it?
This?
The dojo. The Comedy Dojo.
Is that like a legit?
It's place? A legit room. It's above a restaurant.
I never even heard of it.
It's a really nice comedy room.
Okay.
And it was a great show. It was Jim Florentine was there.
What?
Joey Diaz, Aaron Berg.
What?
It was
one killer after another.
Yeah, it was a great show.
All at the dojo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we ended up going there, and I kind of had like FOMO from not going to the Trump thing, but they did interview me in the Northport patch.
Did they just randomly call you? Like, how did that come about?
I know people from different patches or Newsday, and a lot of times
I don't need no stinking patches.
Exactly, anything Republican. Speaking of Republican, I've been nominated.
You have
for Long Island's best Republican.
So we're going to talk about this. We might as well talk about it right now. And as you know, if you're personal Facebook friends with Mikey, Mikey made a very big post about how proud he was and how much it meant to him that he had received a nomination from the Long Island Press for the 2024 Best Of. He was nominated as the best Republican, which means he still has to win.
Still have to win. Lee Zeldin wins every year. But
Lee Zeldin. He's going against Lee Zeldin
this year.
And in very fine print at the end of a very long-winded post, Mike wrote, and Herschy the Keegs was nominated for a best podcast.
Hey, look at that.
So don't worry. I won't let you down, people. Mikey may, but I will certainly be letting you know, reminding you that as of October 1st, the voting starts and goes through December, that Herschy and the Keegs Show has been nominated. And not everyone's nominated. You have to earn a nomination.
You do have to earn a nomination.
I guess enough people nominated us to be nominated. So we're going to certainly be reminding you guys a lot that, oh my God, I'm going to be, I would say, like, what do they say? Like, if you invite 200 people to a wedding, at least 10% aren't going to show.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm down 10% friends on Facebook when this is over with.
Yeah.
If I have like 1,900 now.
Because people can vote every day. So just because you vote, it doesn't mean he's not going to keep bothering you.
And I won't know if they voted. How am I going to know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I'm going to totally mutilate people.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a cool thing.
It's a cool thing. And
we deserve it.
We deserve it, and I think we got a shot this year.
I think we have a shot. I think we deserve it. I've seen the competition, and it's not that strong. Yeah. I would say us, DiDomenico's podcast is strong, so I think he'll be a tough one to beat. I
think he's nominated, right?
Yeah, but, truly, I haven't the nominations aren't out publicly yet.
Yeah, so we don't know.
I'm just going on based on last year's, but I'm pretty sure that, sometimes with these things, they're not updated every year. So, like, I know that, like, Frank Prince, who's a Long Island comic, had died, like, in 2014, yet he was still being nominated for, 3 or 4 years after that.
1 year, it was Frank Prince and Monica Toller, who have both since died. I'm like, what's the legitimacy of this?
Yeah.
2 of these comedians have passed away already.
Well, people were in effigy. Is that the word, Tony? Yeah. They wanted to show homage to them.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But this is a legitimate operation that they're running over there, the Long Island Press, and we're going to be calling out for your help.
Yeah.
And then certainly vote for Mikey as best Republican.
Oh man, if I beat Lee Zeldin for best Republican,
that would be
that'll springboard my political career.
That would be really, really amazing.
I'm an aspiring politician,
so I'm super proud of you. Did you come home and did you watch the Trump rally?
I did. I made sure it was taped. I came home and watched it. My parents taped it.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing, and I kind of watched a little bit of my phone as I was at the show.
Sure, you did, yeah.
But they did interview me in the Patchogue and the
patch,
Northport patch, North Fork patch.
Mm-hmm.
I know the woman that writes for that.
Sure, you do.
She reached out to me. She goes, "I know you're a Trump guy. I don't know if you're going to the rally or not."
Yeah.
But I'd like a couple of words, and I wrote it on Facebook. But true story, I didn't know until my mother messaged me that one of her friends said, your son. They quoted your son in the patch about the Trump rally. My mom goes, "Oh God, what did he say?"
That's right, exactly.
Well, look what I got too. Nancy Rizzuti gave this to me.
Oh, that's so
Trump
nice. I saw that.
Fight, fight, fight.
Yeah, I saw that she dropped that off at your at a show or something like that. Listen, man. Good luck. Good luck to you. We're proud of you, and please devote some time to the show.
But I'm really focusing on this Republican thing.
I know. You can give a shit. I will say I am proud of you because we all know, everyone who watches the show knows that I can get on Mikey that he's not always so. I mean, listen. The fact is, I should just be appreciative that you show up every week.
You should.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't show up to anything every week.
You show up every week. You're not late generally, almost ever.
Yeah.
So when I give you little jabs about, can you help me prepare? Can you do this or that? But this week you did, and I was really, really proud of you.
You're welcome.
So let me just let me pull up the dialogue here. Let me just see here. You had sent me a text. I have an idea. And I wrote, "Great, what is it?" Like, I was proud right at that moment that Mike had taken the initiative. That I didn't
try to have like 3 ideas a week about the show.
Well, I was super proud of you, and so then you said, I said, "Okay, what is it?" You said, "I think they should eliminate the HOV lane on highways," and I'm like, "Okay." Like this,
but but you got to replace it with something.
Well, so I said okay, and then you said they should replace it with something called HIV lanes. So I said, okay, what is that? And essentially you went on to say that only people who have tested positive for HIV should be able to ride in that left lane on major highways.
Because first of all, there's a lot more of them than we really know there are.
And they would be essentially, you were saying that they should be card carrying members.
Yeah, exactly. So we know who they are, and we keep them over there.
You keep them on. So in case there's some sort of a bloody accident,
exactly. I don't want their blood mixing with my blood. In the middle lane on the Southern State Parkway.
Yeah. So I'm
it's
thinking,
bad enough I get into a car accident. Now I got AIDS because this.
right? Yeah, you listen. You have AIDS from 70,000 other things, probably, but
I don't need it from a car accident.
That's right. So then I said, well, it is. Like as far as the other passengers, does it have to be someone with HIV riding along with another person with HIV? And essentially what you had said was, no, it can just be anyone. And I said, well, how does that work? And you said basically that they're just lucky to have a friend with HIV, so they can utilize the speed lane.
It's like when you go to Disneyland with a cripple.
Right.
You get the fast pass.
Okay,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
I got you. So
now everybody wants to have a friend with HIV.
Okay, so here's the
thing.
thing.
And now these people feel wanted and not like social outcasts.
Here's the thing. We the producer of our show and a good friend of ours
has HIV.
No, he doesn't have HIV that we know of, but he is missing a leg. So if you were going to be calling anyone a cripple, we're not going to use that word because he would be referred to as a cripple, and that's.
I've used a scooter at Disney.
I was going to say, you know what? It didn't even cross my mind, but I'm gonna.
No, and
when I go to Disney, I'm taking Tony with me.
This is the level of piece of shit that you are. That in your mind, you're thinking that if you, Carla, and the baby go to Disney, you're bringing Tony with you, so you can fast pass on the Lego ride or whatever the fuck it's called.
I'll pay his flight. I'll pay everything.
Yeah,
because I don't like standing in lines. I'm bringing Tony.
Oh well, no. And if you're online for a flight,
you can rent yourself out like an Airbnb.
Yeah. No, but if you're with a handicapped person on a flight, you also get the quicker boarding, I believe. Is that right? When you fly, you don't have to wait to board.
No, I wait.
You don't have to wait, though, is what I'm saying.
I totally have to wait, and then it's actually longer because they throw me in for to feel me up and
I got you.
I know the name of the app. To rent yourself out to be like a crippled guy that goes to Disneyland. StubHub. Is that taken already?
It is. It is definitely.
Oh, man.
How about we just call it Stub Rub?
Oh, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
No, that's Stump Rub. That's different. Okay.
Rent a crip.
Yeah. That's it. I like that as well.
But yeah, you got a friend with the HIV. You're going to a Yankee game. You don't want to sit in traffic.
So that's what you thought, and I just didn't even respond back to you because I was just disgusted that this was your ingenious idea. I thought you were going to bring something really valuable to the table.
I think that is valuable.
You do think it's valuable to the table. You do.
Wait till I win Best Republican on Long Island, and I can make these decisions.
You are going to definitely do that.
10 years from now, you're going to be driving on the Meadowbrook. That's really an HIV lane?
Yeah.
Is Carla up for Best Democrat?
Democrat? I don't know.
Is there such a thing as Best Democrat?
I don't think there is a Best Democrat.
Why would there be a Best Republican? I mean, I understand that Long Island is
I wonder if there is a thing for Best. Well, there are no good Democrats, so I would say... this isn't in the 60s and 70s there were good Democrats.
No, but
the
truth is, I guess because Long Island is such a Republican-based type of area, but it would be weird that you wouldn't have...
I wonder if there is. I got to look at the nomination thing, see if there is a Best Democrat.
I know that if there was an award for Best Moron this week, I would have won. I had a couple of pretty embarrassing episodes. So obviously for those who are familiar with Governor's Comedy Club, we are adjacent, almost connected to a place that is fondly known as the Cow, which is essentially a drive-in dairy barn. But it's not just for like milk and so you can get sandwiches and things like that.
Get a nice egg sandwich over there.
Yeah, so I have become friends with the people that there's the woman Nancy who works there, and then there's essentially it's I guess it's owned by like a Pakistani or Indian family, or is that
that would be correct?
Yeah. Which one? Or just one of them?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. So they know who I am, and they know that I'm a comic, and they know I'm part of this. I have a show over here, whatever. Yeah. So normally, what I'll do is I'll go in the left lane. So the right lane is if you go to get a milk and a soda. It's just a quick lane. Yeah. The left lane though is egg sandwich. You want to get a hero, whatever it is. So what I normally do is I'll go into the left lane. I'll usually order my egg whites on toast with grilled onions. I'll pull down the window, and then usually the guy comes in and he actually like leans through the window and like I'll put my stuff on the seat. I'll give him the credit card. Like we're kind of friends, Get
out of my car, Habib. Don't come in my window.
I don't know what it was, The other day, I went in there. I ordered my food. I paid for it, and then he comes in, and I guess I didn't realize that I had closed the window in between the time that he'd gone there, and he smashes his head right to the window. And I'm like, holy shit! Like I literally must have as he was walking away, I must have just like gone up with the window, and then he came back immediately, and he was like, boom! He just smashed it, and I'm like, fuck! Like I felt so goddamn horrible. I felt fucking horrible about it,
gentlemen.
I felt horrible.
So did you see the Prime Minister of India was at Nassau Coliseum this week?
Yes. Was that probably a similar type of crowd as the Trumpster got? I would assume.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they actually had more protesters at the Prime Minister thing.
Really?
There must have been 150 guys with these Habibis on.
They were protesting
They would protest because I guess he's the Prime Minister of India, but they're Indian guys. I guess that don't like that political party.
Okay.
And they were going nuts on Hempstead Turnpike. Like they're like Modi, you can't. His name is Modi.
Yeah.
Modi, you can't hide. Blah blah blah. Because you can kind of understand them because I think Indian people speak
it's
English.
so tall. The thing you can't hide.
You can't hide because you have
everywhere.
a 7-foot Habibi on your head.
That's right. You can't hide. We know where you are.
Listen, shawarma head.
So was it no violence? I hope
there was no violence. I think there are peaceful people.
Okay, all right. So are you in that vicinity sometimes that you're driving by there a lot? Is that
I drive by there pretty often.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So you want to see if there's any good rallies going on?
What rallies going on there today? Oh, India? Let's go. I thought the cricket matches were back.
Dude, can I just tell you that those cricket matches were no joke.
Yeah.
There were thousands of people in Eisenhower Park.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess that it's a state-owned park, but they took that stadium down brick by brick, and it was amazing to watch. Like it was a
cool.
real short period of time.
I drove by every day and watched it come down little by little.
Yeah. But that could be a big money generator for our town. I'm just saying for
why they didn't keep that up and have concerts in there.
There's a reason we don't. It's beyond our scope.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this poor guy definitely had a mild concussion.
Poor guy. Oh my God,
horrible. And then
it's just like a dot on your car.
So I'm feeling.
Excuse me, I forgot something.
I'm feeling awful about this. Mm-hmm. So after that, I am leaving, and I go to I do a lot of like UPS, the UPS place on Gardeners Avenue in Levittown, because Max sells a lot of stuff. He buys stuff at garage sales, whatever. So I go in there, and I'm online, and they know me there. They're like, "Hey, Mark, what's going on?" Blah blah blah. We're bullshitting, and a lady comes in. Levittown momish looking type of thing, maybe in her late 30s, early 40s, and she's literally dragging a child along with her, like this.
Yep, definitely Levittown mom.
Despondent, screaming, just
dragging
like
a kid, cigarette in one hand.
The kid is screaming and yelling, and the mom just yells out. So she gets to the register next to me, and she screams out. She's like, "Brittany, when we're going home, you're going right to your room, and you're staying there." And so I just I popped out. I said, I looked at them and I said, "I wish I could do that." And
go to Brittany's room and stay there.
I had no intention of that, but all of a sudden the lady at the register turns white as a ghost. Brittany's mom looks at me like, "Are you fucking out of your mind, man?" And I'm like, no, that's not what I didn't mean. That I didn't mean that. I meant like I wish I could get sent to my room.
Get sent to my room and not have to leave. I get that, but it just sounds like, oh, can you send me to Brittany's room too, mommy?
I wish I could go. That's not what I meant at all, though. And I couldn't dig out of it. Like they didn't want to hear any part of it.
Brittany's like, "Get away from me, pedo."
Yeah, it's exactly. So I'm like, this day is just not working out for me.
This is the same day?
Within a half hour. I smash a guy's forehead open, and then I'm almost handcuffed.
And now you're on Megan's list.
That's right. That's right. I can't go within a 5-mile radius of the school anymore. So, speaking of pedos, though, and you seem to know a lot more about this than I do, because you were posting about it, and I was posting about it too, but I didn't really know about it. But
I didn't know where this was going, Mark.
Yeah, come in, officers. For Mike, can you tell me? So we're going to talk a little bit about Diddy, and we're going to talk a little bit about what a freak off is and his bottles of lotion. Like, you've done some research on this. Tell me what you know.
I went down a Diddy rabbit hole.
You did.
It's a lot of
Diddy hole.
Listen, this is the tip of the iceberg, but
Yeah.
you don't. How many people are going to be involved?
I don't.
Every single rapper that became successful, because of P. Diddy, was because they went to these freak off parties.
So what? I honestly don't even know
I'm
what a
using
freak
it like
off
it's
is.
common vernacular. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean freak off?
No,
party?
but they are using the vernacular though. So what does that mean? What is a freak off?
So apparently, and I'm no expert on them.
Yeah, liar.
But he would have these giant parties at his mansion.
Yeah.
But there used to be like little separate parties or after parties where they were just basically orgies with underage people or girls that they would drug and
I don't
take
fucking
advantage
understand
of.
this. These guys could get anything they want.
You know
why
what
is it always involving younger women?
You know what it
younger
is,
girls?
man? It's just because you
hell?
can get anything you want, that gets boring after a while.
Okay.
So now you want the stuff you can't have. You want the forbidden fruit.
So are they?
And that's Justin Bieber.
So is this?
He had Justin Bieber at these parties when he was 13 years old. And he had Usher at those parties when he was 14 years old. Usher. And so did you see like Usher like deleted like 7,000 tweets?
Yeah, but what I'm trying to figure out, and I don't even understand the Epstein Island stuff so much. Like, are these kidnapped young girls? The horrificness of it, I can't even imagine. Or is it just runaways, or just girls who were?
They're mostly runaways,
Yeah.
or girls that want to rebel against their parents.
Okay.
But they groom these kids too. They say come and come to the amusement park, and they groom them, and then they become trusting, and then they normalize it. They spend years grooming these kids.
But to the Diddies of the world and the Epsteins of the world, they don't actually have like they're out kidnapping people, right?
They're not necessarily kidnapping them, but
Okay.
they're finding the vulnerable, finding the kids with the parents who can use an extra, who are down on their luck, and want to, hey, we'll give you $100,000, let your kid come to this party.
So what you just described, is that trafficking? Is that what that is?
It's trafficking. That's why it's a RICO case now. It's an organized crime.
Oh my God!
Because that's sex trafficking. It's drug trafficking, and it's a revolving door of unwilling participants,
right,
who become willing participants because they normalize it for these kids. And it's not even the kids either. Like it's people who could be in their 20s but want a career in rap, and it's like, all I got to do is let Diddy do whatever he wants to do with me, and I'll be a multi-millionaire.
So what about the legitimate actors, actresses, musicians who are not involved in this shit?
They're all involved,
but basically they are complicit. Essentially, they're enabling this. They're being at parties.
Yeah, they know exactly what's going on. All of them. Everybody's involved.
Almighty.
Everybody's involved except basically the three of us in this room.
I mean, do you think this is gonna? And they even said there's videos of Kamala Harris at freak off,
and Michelle Obama was at these. They were at the parties. They don't know if they're at the in the after parties or in the private rooms.
I just don't understand. Like, did these? Is it the?
I'll tell you who wasn't at any of these freak offs. Donald Trump.
No, he was not. But is it the mindset? Is it the logic of these people when they get involved in things this grotesque and horrific? Is it that they just become holier than thou? They think they're above the law. They don't think that they can get caught with anything.
Because all the most powerful people are there. They're all these billionaires, these moguls,
right?
Russell Simmons and all the really
Def Jam freak-offs.
And Clive Davis is at the top. He's not even a white guy. Just the people that are at the top think that.
You say even a white guy?
Even a white guy can get involved in this stuff. I mean, believe it or not.
Idiot. You're the worst.
I tried to stop myself.
Honestly, God, you're
that's
just
why I
the
saw
worst.
something interesting today. People were like, well, what's the difference between the parties at P. Diddy's house and Hugh Hefner's parties at the mansion?
Well, but Hugh Hefner's parties, weren't these the playmates were young women who were of age?
That's what they're saying,
they?
But they're also saying there's this documentary that's getting suppressed about some terrible things that Hugh Hefner used to do. He used to make the women do things to animals, and
oh my God,
all these people are sick, and these are all the people with all the money and they could do whatever they want, and
Right.
and that's why people disappear. Like Puff Daddy's girlfriend or wife or girlfriend, whoever that died, they're gonna start investigating that. Maybe she found something out, or she was gonna release something. And she also dated Tupac Shakur. Maybe he knew something. He was going to say something, and that's why he died. It's all going to come out because, like, now we kind of know.
Right.
But I think you're going to start seeing some people disappear. Everybody's involved.
So, do you think that this disgusting piece of shit who we want to rip to shreds, this vile piece of puke, Dave Grohl, is involved in this, or no?
No.
Separate. This is a separate
not Dave
level
Grohl.
of disgust.
No. Yeah, he had a little fling with it.
But you know what, though? And this is what makes me sick about a guy like Dave Grohl, is that now that it's come out that he fathered a child with a different woman during his marriage, now there's other women coming out saying that. So, again, we've talked about this before, but for these celebrities to show contrition when they're caught, but for a fact that if they were never caught...
Since the early 90s, Dave Grohl's been an infidel.
Infidel.
I don't know if he's been an infidel. I don't think.
No, he was in the Cuban War. Actually,
I don't think he's a soldier of religion, but he's obviously been cheating on his wife for all these years, and he somehow managed to keep this clean image for so long.
Yeah.
Because also you see, like, he's one of those original Seattle grunge singers,
right?
And they all died of heroin overdoses.
Yeah.
And him and Eddie Vedder are basically the only two that came out of that clean. And now you're finding out Grohl was kind of a little bit of a piece of shit.
He's a big piece of shit. Yeah. And I don't know how this whole thing's shaken down, but certainly what I would love to see happen is that his wife basically says, listen, the kids are staying here. This is my house. You're going to be giving me a shit ton of money and get the fuck out.
And that's
what I mean?
And when things like that happen, that's when they have remorse. Because he's like, oh, I got to pay... $500,000 a month now to my wife.
But beyond the money, though, they need to be brought down to size, and they need to be humbled a little bit.
Yeah.
Where all the money in the world doesn't matter when your kids are gone, when you can't see your kids, and maybe if he is a loving father and did care about seeing his kids, but now she goes ahead and she grinds his nuts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Screw him. What a piece of shit you are, Dave Grohl,
Absolutely.
for doing that. And what happens is you're embarrassing your children, you're embarrassing your wife.
That's what it is. It's not just you.
You're taking a whole group down.
When you're doing something like this, it's not just you that's going to be affected by it.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just disgusting, and I hope something. I hope, like I said, I hope he gets some humility in this situation because
I hope he does get wrapped up in this whole P Diddy thing.
Maybe he will. Maybe he'll go to a freak off.
Exactly. Yeah, Dave Grohl's freak off. Yeah.
Yeah, I
kind of want to have a freak off, like not like a kid trafficking freak off, but just like a regular, kind of like a more responsible freak off.
You'd want to have a freak off with your buddies, though. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's what I had freak offs.
Do you think that Diddy is going to legitimately spend some time in the clink here? Like, is he?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's in.
But you know what? And also, like, I think he's probably taken the fall for somebody who's even more powerful than him. It goes all the way up, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So when you say that, you say like someone like a billionaire who's behind the scene,
like a multi-billion, like a George Soros, who's probably the head of these pedophile rings, and
dude, that's crazy.
Even like Clive Davis, white guy.
Mm-hmm. Is Clive Davis still alive?
I think he is. Yeah.
He is. Yes, he is. Okay, but you're right. He's a big figure in this whole thing.
He's a more powerful person than P. Diddy, so maybe he's the one that's organizing all these things, but he's like, all right, they're catching on to us, now let Diddy take the hit.
You know what? And I think this has a lot to do over the past 10, 20 years with social media and phones and cameras and things like that. Like, going back to 20 years ago, this guy Lou Pearlman, who was basically sexually molesting
the boy band kids.
The boy band guys, and eventually I think he was in jail, and then he died in jail, I believe. But that shit was really prominent.
It was prominent, but now, like you said, there's more evidence, and there's more. There's back then there wasn't the social media. There wasn't video evidence of what was going on.
Well, did you see the Dan Schneider documentary?
Yeah, another creep,
twisted, sick shit going on.
Thank you for paying attention to when you produce our show, Tony. We had a big conversation 3 weeks ago about Dan Schneider, and you even posted pictures saying that he looks like Mike. Do you remember that? No.
What'd you say?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Me and Frank were sleeping.
You and Frank, yeah. It reminds me of like when Susan Wallman and John Sterling talk to each other. They always repeat the thing that they just said 5 minutes because they're not listening.
Speaking of that, John Sterling's back tonight.
He's back, and he sounded amazing.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah.
Well, he had said he was going to come back for the playoffs, and then I guess this week it's on the verge of the playoffs.
They're going to clinch the division this week, hopefully. Yeah. So he
sounds. It's so good. Listen, no disparaging the people that have been doing it. Justin Shackle and Ricky Ricardo.
Ricardo's great.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, listening to Sterling. It's just magic.
Nothing like it. Yeah.
Magic. Yeah, they're saying it, and I don't know. You might even be too young to remember this, but years ago on FAN, one of the morning shows, 10 to 1, was Ed Coleman and Dave Sims. Mm-hmm. Dave Sims has now been calling games for Seattle Mariners for the past 20 years or so. They're saying that he's a favorite to win the job with Susan Waldman.
Really?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And chances are Sterling's going to be done after the postseason. I don't think he's going to come back. But hearing him was pretty
it was
awesome
really cool.
today.
I briefly forgot about it, and then I put the game on on the way here, and I'm like, oh, John Sterling.
Yeah,
so
it was amazing. It was so good.
God bless him.
And, let's see what happens here. I mean, obviously the Yankees are in good shape to definitely make the playoffs.
Yep. I got
the
tickets
Mets,
already for game 2.
Oh, for the first set?
ALDS.
Oh, nice. Okay. The Mets are another situation. The Mets obviously are a couple up on the Braves. They were losing before. Yeah. What's going on now?
They lost.
They did lose.
It's final 5-1.
The Mets lost, so now they're only one game up, I believe, on the Braves. But they still are in that other spot.
Actually, is it one or is it a half now?
I think it was one. I think it was
1
2,
now.
then 1.
Oh, I thought they were up 1.5.
But you know what? And I was talking to some guys about this today. The Mets, the second half run that the Mets have had has been nothing short of amazing.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's been amazing. This team was dead. They were 13 and under.
They were a joke.
People were questioning the manager. Yeah. They were ripping apart all the players, and it looked like another second half collapse for the Mets. Then they went on this crazy run.
Even after injuries, they're going on that run.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. And now they're how many games up there? 15 up, 14 up, whatever it is, which is a miraculous comeback. Yep. But I hate to say it, and I'm not. Listen, if they're not playing the Yankees, I root for the Mets personally. Yeah. But a Met collapse here would be really, really prototypical of what we've seen out of the Mets over basically their history, which is they look like something great's going to happen. 2006, 2007, 2022. We've seen horrible things. If they don't clinch a spot here after what they did in the second half, it's a real clusterfuck.
I know.
So hopefully that does not happen. Hopefully the problem is now they're playing against Chris Sale tomorrow.
They're Chris Sale tomorrow, and their pitching's iffy. I mean, and then Kodai Senga's getting Tommy John surgery.
Oh, is that what they said?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay.
He's not getting like the full Tommy John. It's called like a sleeve or something. So it's not going to be like the full Tommy John.
Oh, like gastric bypass sleeve.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that. Well, listen, they have to get after this run. You cannot grab a spot in the playoffs.
Exactly.
You have to grab a spot.
Yeah.
End the story.
Yep, so you're playing Atlanta and
yeah, it'll be crazy.
It's tough. Atlanta and then Milwaukee.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be pretty horrific. Before I want to touch on something that we've had a lot of audience participation about today. I do want to again discuss how sometimes you're just not a nice person.
I'm always a nice person. I'm a very, very nice person.
So over the past couple of months, I've reconnected with a couple of old childhood friends, which I've never been fully out of touch with, but my friend Mike and my friend Steven, we kind of reconnected. We're going to dinner this weekend. So my friend Steven sends me some pictures. When Steven and I were, I think I was 15 and he was 16, or maybe 16 and 17, we went on a trip to Florida together. Just him and I went to Florida. No parents. We went to Disney.
No pants.
Yeah, no pants. We just went to Florida for a week. Balls willy-nilly floating around. And one of the pictures he sent me was a picture of us in front of. He sent me a picture this week, a couple of pictures. One of us in front of Magic Kingdom.
Aww.
And I wake up to my Facebook page and I see a tag from Mike Keegan. So I'm assuming it's something to do with the show. Then again, I'm like, he never posts anything about the show. So what is this about?
And, I tagged the show in it too, though.
And then there's a picture. If you pop that up, Tone. He posted a picture of me and Steven in front of Magic Kingdom, and it's a long soliloquy about all the horrible things that the Menendez brothers have done.
And that was genius. I loved it.
And he's
Don't
alleging
they look exactly like the Menendez brothers?
and he's
they
alleging that we're the Menendez brothers, essentially. But he didn't just say that Mark and Steven look like the Menendez brothers. He must have copied and pasted from the wiki page, like a 6-paragraph novelette of
the
all
entire biography
Yeah.
of what happened
Yeah.
the night the Melendez brothers murdered
Right.
their parents.
So I'm posting a picture of one of my greatest childhood memories, and all I'm seeing is people laughing faces, making fun of the fact that Steven and I look like Lyle and whatever the other guy's name, Kyle or whatever the hell it is.
My repost that said you looked like the Menendez brothers got more likes and comments than your original post. And we're like, oh, this is my friend, and it's a great memory. You know what triggered it is because I'm watching that Menendez brothers documentary right now on Netflix.
So it's interesting. I've heard about it. Is it really a documentary?
No, it's not a documentary. It's a movie.
Yeah, I heard that it was that there was some connotations referring to the fact that they may have been in love with each other. Or is that?
Yeah, dude, they're super gay in that movie together.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
and
like touch each other.
I don't like shows like that where they redo history like that. I'd like a real deal documentary.
They get very touchy-feely with each other. They kind of hint at it, but they don't.
Yeah.
Did you know that Eric was bald, though?
Oh, yeah.
I never knew that.
Can I just tell you that they killed their parents for being horrific? They should have thanked them for having the best toupee ever from their parents.
Greatest toupee.
The greatest.
I've followed this case since the early 90s.
No, of course. Same thing. Yeah.
And I never had any idea until 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Because she ripped. There's one scene where the mother, they get in a fight at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
And she rips his toupee off.
Right.
And I'm like, did she just rip his entire head off? Is that why he killed his mom? Because she ripped his head off?
Just a remarkable job.
Yeah.
There have been videos from prison, and he's totally bald.
Yeah, because they don't let him wear the toupee in prison, but when he was in court, they let him wear the toupee.
Yeah, really a wonderful job, and that's the appreciation you get as a parent. You go ahead and you get your kid the greatest hairpiece, Hair Club for Men.
This is 92, 93
right.
also.
Where they were terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
The Menendez parents were way ahead of their time.
They really were.
When it came to hair regeneration,
Yeah.
and for that they got shot in the face.
Yeah, see the thanks they get?
They got one of them's bald and one of them is regular haired, right?
Yeah, Eric, the older one, is bald, and Lyle, that's a toupee. You would never think that that's a toupee.
It's just
that
phenomenal.
Eric is wearing there.
That's just totally phenomenal.
And that's 1991, 1992. That picture when there wasn't good technology.
Yeah. It's
what a see, there he is.
It's just that one. It's not as good, but God, they're handsome.
They really are good. They are good looking.
God, they are. That picture of the one on the left there. I mean, he looks happy to be alive in there, man.
I know, right?
Like, what in God's name are you doing, Broseph?
What a brutal murder scene in the movie.
Oh, yeah?
I was watching that.
I will watch it.
Horrific murder scenes I've ever seen.
All right.
I love how it's Hispanic History Month, and the two biggest movies right now are the Menendez brothers and the Aaron Hernandez story.
Oh, that's really terrible, actually.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty interesting. That's great, Michael. That's really good. I was totally, because I have a pet peeve when someone wears a hairpiece that's just so blatantly obvious.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
just shave it off.
It's disrespectful to me.
Right. To beautiful coif of hair.
No, because that you think I'm an idiot, like I don't know.
Right. That's right. Well, so I'll segue as a smooth segue as I usually tend to do. Actually, one of our listeners happens to be one of Stacy's college best friends, Marissa. Marissa had texted me the other day that she thought that I should float out an idea to our viewers to come up with some pet peeves.
Ooh.
Pet peeves.
Yeah.
Just pet peeves. Like, why don't you just see if people have any pet peeves? I will tell you that I was so overwhelmed by the response. There's no way we'll get to all of them. I was literally getting hammered today.
A lot of these people have pet peeves, yeah.
And I will tell you, I have a new pet peeve. A new pet peeve from the post about pet peeves is that people can't fucking pay attention to directions. I made it crystal clear in the posting saying, please do not comment on the post. On this post, please DM me. I didn't say text me.
DM is direct message.
Direct message me. And I'm getting just tons of comments that I have to hide or delete and then copy and paste.
That's how lazy people are.
I don't think it's. I just think people just by nature just don't. They just don't read.
They're lazy. They don't want to take that extra step to click on another.
It's nothing malicious or intentional. That people just aren't. But let's go through some of them while we have time. I mean, we'll do the best that we can. Obviously, I think that. Well, you can discuss if you want. You right off the bat. You and Sue Galena, your buddy, seem to have a common ground.
Sue Galena is the best.
You had some common ground about that. Let's see. Let's go on. I'm going to go to my my messages where I message myself some of these things, and we'll just discuss some of them. Okay. Sue Galena posted, which I don't know if you posted this or Sue did, but you seem to be in cahoots together. When you don't respond to a text in 0.2 seconds, and then the sender sends a reminder text, style text, roughly 2 minutes after the first one. So basically,
I wonder which of me and Suzanne's common friends, does that to us.
Well, when I copied and pasted this, I'm like, wait a second, did I just copy and paste Mikey's or Sue's? Which is very ironic that Sue wrote this because I texted you something this morning at around 7:10 a.m. and then I guess like an hour later when you didn't respond, I'm like, all right, well, I guess you don't like that idea. And then you wrote back, it's 8:30 in the morning.
8:30 in the morning, I'm just getting to work. Like, as you were texting me is when I'm getting in the shower, I'm brushing my teeth, driving to work, I get to work. And then when I get to work, I like to, that's when I settle down.
Yes.
I'll have my little cottage cheese, and then I answer the text message. You didn't give me a chance to do that.
Right, yeah.
But all I could think is you sent it at 7:10. Between 7:10 and 8:28, you were just sitting there like this.
Waiting
for me to respond back to you.
That's right.
And then finally you just had your breaking point at 8:28.
Yeah. Well, I assume you were at work already by that point, but it was fair. It was totally fair. Okay, so you and Sue definitely have your common ground.
You're our pet peeve.
Yeah, we're definitely no question about it. Okay. Some other ones that we got. Ronnie Schnell, our buddy Ronnie Schnell. Ronnie. Yeah. Ronnie Schnell wrote something that made me laugh. When someone says, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And Ronnie's take on this was, that's exactly who you would wish it on.
It's the only person
Who else are you going to wish something horrendous on?
True, exactly.
You don't wish it on someone that you like
wish it to
or
your
care
uncle,
for,
Jeff.
relative.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that son of a bitch who you want to rip their face off, that's who you're wishing it on.
Who are you going to wish it on?
Yeah.
You gotta, if you have to wish it on somebody.
You have to wish it on someone. So Ronnie gets some points for that.
Yeah.
Ronnie's pet peeve number 2 is never being invited on a podcast. So, yeah, you know what? We'll have to. The truth is this. For people who have felt slighted that we haven't invited you on the podcast, we haven't invited a lot of people on the podcast. No. We are selective, and not so much in a snobby way, but it just we have to feel like there's an inroad.
It has to be pertinent.
Yeah, so not that Ronnie couldn't, Ronnie could talk about his, he's a super at a building or a doorman, and he collects a lot of garbage and sells it. So there's things he could talk about. Yeah. But Ronnie, with all due respect, I hope you do understand that there's a list of hundreds that have also not been invited on the podcast,
and also Mark makes all the decisions
and I
on
do
who
too,
comes on. So don't
you know
blame
what?
me.
I, as soon as you wrote that, I did add you to the sheet of paper that I have of potential guest candidates.
All right.
So never say never. Never say never at all. Let's see. Local Levittown resident, a Hirschman family friend, and Hirschman dog walker.
Ozzy.
What?
Ozzy.
No, not Ozzy. No. Erica Kerr, she had one that I liked, an expression that I absolutely drives me batty. I did a thing.
Oh.
I did a thing.
Yeah.
I did a thing is a tough one to swallow.
I know.
That's a real tough one to handle. Like,
because you're humble bragging on Facebook about something. You're just like, hey, I did a thing.
Yeah. That's definitely a rough one. And you know, this is typical of a dog walker, but Erica Kerr, people who don't like dogs, there's nothing trustworthy about them. And the truth is that really there's something valid to that because listen, we're all dog lovers, Tony as well. And the beauty and innocence of a dog and how much unbridled joy they give you. And if you don't like dogs, there's probably something mentally wrong with you.
Mental. You know where I didn't see any dogs? At Puff Daddy's freak offs.
That's right. There were no there were no dog freak offs. Yeah. There were no dog offs.
Yeah, they hated
That's
dogs,
right.
all those people.
So, you know, I think there's something to that.
Yeah,
I think there's no question something to that. I will tell you that one of the things that was very commonly sent to me was by Sue and by many other people, loud chewing.
That's my thing. That's my
loud
biggest
chewing,
thing.
snapping gum seemed to be a very, very common
That's
one.
my biggest thing. It's there's a name for it where you don't like
something
loud chewing.
phobia.
Yeah.
Yes, there's something phobia. Absolutely.
But it drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I have a client that calls me, once or twice a week. Every time she calls me, she's chewing something on the other end of the phone, and I can't do it. That's the big and the room is bad enough. When you're on the phone with somebody and you're chewing into the phone.
Yeah.
I want to murder people.
So I wonder if there is if that just happens intrinsically or sometimes something will spark that. So Sue definitely has her disdain for noises and loud things like that from her childhood. Her grandparents were deaf. Her mom's mom and dad.
I'm laughing.
Yeah. Her grandparents were deaf. And Sue had told me that when her deaf grandmother would come in the car, what's going on here? Why is this so funny?
Her grandparents were deaf.
Both of her grandparents were deaf. Yeah. Why is this so funny? Why are you fucking idiots laughing at that? I'm
just laughing at his reaction.
So this is where Sue's disdain for the loud smacking noises came when her deaf grandmother would come in the car. Dude, what's going on here? Why is this so funny? When her can I just get the goddamn story out? Yep. When her deaf grandmother would come in the car, she would have a blue container of Charms sucking candy, and yes, she was deaf, so she didn't. So she didn't know how fucking loud she was, and we would yell at each other like, "Who the fuck gave Grandma candy?" Because we didn't allow her to have it because we heard how loud it was, and she couldn't hear it. So it fucking annoys her to this day when I hear people cackling, clacking on candy.
I would give that deaf person caramel every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Were they born deaf, or they were just deaf because they're old? Because did they have the deaf accents?
No, they didn't just become deaf. They were both deaf people that were
were they born deaf?
They were born deaf.
Kids?
I mean, then they got young at polio. I don't know, but they were deaf their whole lives. You fucking psycho.
Well, some people get deaf when they get old.
No,
you lose your hearing.
No. This is when they were
they
regular
were deaf Americans.
Yeah, they were deaf when Sue was they were grandparent age, 50, 60 years old. They were deaf, so they were deaf from the time that her mother was born. They were deaf. Yeah, Sue's going to be on the show since you invited her on the show.
Yeah, Sue's coming on, and I'm going to ask her about her deaf grandparents.
So why don't we leave the subject alone for now, since you can grill her, and I don't know a lot of the.
Because some children are born deaf.
Mike, I think they were deaf. I think they were deaf their whole lives. Fuck.
What makes you think they were deaf their whole lives and they didn't just become deaf when they were 70?
No, they were deaf because they were just deaf. Okay, I don't know. All right, moving on. Okay, they were deaf. John Bianco, who is
my uncle.
That's your Uncle John.
My uncle.
Uncle John. His pet peeve. He is not a fan of stand-up comedians who are not Jewish. So thank you, Uncle John. He thinks it's akin to white rappers' cultural appropriation.
All comedians should be Jewish.
Yeah, so basically, it's like an Indian guy owning a pizzeria in Brooklyn or things like that. So he feels strongly that comics should be Jews. So Uncle John, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
It's like a deaf guy owning a T-Mobile store.
Right, exactly. My dude, Kip Miller. He fucking hates parents that let their asshole kids run around terrorizing whatever store they're in. Personally, I bump them with the cart and knock their snotty little asses over. Now, wow. Kip, this is an interesting one. Kip actually married to a very lovely woman. He's a friend of a friend. So Kip doesn't have children. I wonder, is this take regardless of whether you have kids or not kids, you think? Or
I think you're a little more sympathetic if you do have kids.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay, so that's interesting. All right, we're gonna rifle through a couple of these really quickly, and then we're gonna call it a night. Let's see here. Joan Krupiasher.
Ooh, Mama Joan.
Mama Joan, when she looks forward to watching her two favorite hunks on Tuesday nights, and one of them bails out, leaving thousands of disappointed fans.
Yeah.
That's a big one right there. Okay.
I will never do that again to you, Joan, except for in 2 weeks, I think.
Diane Morbido Keegan, you know who she is.
I've met her.
She very simply hates two-faced people and ass kissers.
I thought she was going to say black people.
Yeah, no, that's your dad and you. No, so she two-faced people and ass kissers.
She does not like those kind of people.
Good people, right. God, this is going to be a tough one. I don't know if I should say the name because I don't want you to say, let's just say that someone that I'm friendly with, but you're not, a comic, his pet peeve, and him and I have talked about this recently, is commenting on sports fandom unsolicited. Like when you walk into the lobby of a Jiffy Lube and you start rapping about the Met game last night and shitting all over the Mets, and there's like a Met fan diehard in there. Like, mind your fucking business. Nobody asked that. Yeah, exactly, you know. Yeah. My thing, as you know, and I posted about it the other day, was when people talk about sports and they act like they know about sports, and they have no idea. They say something that clearly shows that they don't know sports. Yeah. That drives me up insane. A wall. And as I posted, these guys that I was talking to online, getting into the Binghamton event the other day, the guy was, at the beginning, he seemed like he knew what he was talking about. And then he said, I thought Judge was going to run away with the MVP, but now Ohtani's been looking really good. Yeah. And I'm like, I gotta walk away. I'm gonna rip your face off.
He lured you in.
He lured me in
because I get excited to talk sports with people.
Yes, of course.
Lure me in. I was at a party one time.
Yes.
And there was a guy. He had a Yankee tattoo on his leg.
Yes.
And he starts talking Yankees. I'm like, I could talk to this guy all
night.
Right,
of course.
And he's like, I like them. They won 14 championships or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how many championships they won. How many. Idiot. Now I can't even talk to you again, and I want to punch you in the mouth.
Well, that's what happened with me today. I had to walk away from this guy.
You got a tattoo? You don't know how many championships the New York Yankees won?
Stupid bitch. My boy Mike Champy, and your boy as well. He finds that reply all dickheads on an office email not tolerant of that. Okay. Sarah Louise, who is the ex-wife of Nikki Greystone, our dear friend, she also feels like she's writing to tell us that pet peeve is loud chewing. So we have a lot of loud chewers. It's an actual
disorder, people that don't like loud chewing.
A lot of them. This is an interesting one, and I want to give our old friend Dan McCarthy a little pop here.
Love that guy.
Dan McCarthy's
pet peeve. It's called Misphonia.
Oh, Misphonia. Yeah. Dan McCarthy's pet peeve is when TV show characters or movie characters are playing instruments, but it's painfully obvious that the actors don't have any clue to actually play. Yep. So, like, someone's playing a guitar, but you can tell that they don't actually know how to. Yep. They should do a better job of that. Not so much the actor, but the actual.
I can never tell. Because I'm not musical at all, so I don't know if they can play. Like a musician, Dan's a musician, Dan's a bass player.
Right.
They can tell. I can't tell if somebody's just like banging on a keyboard and they're playing Hey Jude. I have no idea.
Real music people can tell.
I went to a play a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was great, but there were people there that know music and know and know acting, and they're like, oh, they were horrible, they were off key. I'm like, I don't even know what a key is. So I'm dumb, so I enjoy these things. I'm musically dumb.
Yes, and other things too.
Yes.
All right, wrapping up, Walter Brown's big pet peeve in life is that he hates fat phys ed teachers. He doesn't think you can be a big overweight pig and teaching the chicken dance. Yeah. So good work there. And we'll close up. I got a lot of stuff from our boy Anthony Stabile.
That guy's got a pet peeve or two.
He does have a pet peeve or two, and this one's kind of funny though because I didn't type it back to him, but one of his pet peeves, the one he posted about non-smokers who think the world revolves around them. You know, he has a big issue with smokers getting banished. Not that he's a smoker, he's a cigar smoker, but like, you know, when people are outside smoking cigarettes and then people like, you still have to move.
Well,
like, where the fuck do I go? Like,
exactly.
where else is there for me to go? But his pet peeve that I kind of laughed at, passengers in the car who insist on controlling the climate in your vehicle. Now, what's interesting, despite me being friends with Anthony for a long time and being good friends with him, I don't remember ever being in a vehicle with him. But if I go into a car that is boiling hot, I will absolutely turn that goddamn air conditioning on.
I do that too, but I hate if I have it because I always keep my car super cold.
Yes, me too.
And Carla always makes it hotter, and I get furious.
Yeah,
but if it's hot, I have no problem changing it to cold.
I will not ever turn someone's car hotter, but if I'm in there and I'm sweltering,
exactly,
I will turn that goddamn air up a notch.
I'll give them every tip that I'm hot.
Right. Every sign
that I'm hot. Like I'll go like this. I'll put the windows down. If they don't get it, I'm lowering it or I'm putting the air conditioner on.
I'm going to close off the pet peeve section with the one that Stabile just sent in a few minutes ago. Actually, right before the show. Hey, you want another one? And I said yes. He said, "The Atlanta scumbag motherfucking died in front of your family, Braves." So that's how it went tonight in Metland.
The Mets
apparently.
lost.
The Mets lost. Did the Yankees pull it out tonight?
They were losing when I came in.
They
here.
were also okay. All right.
I think they lost.
You know what? Let me just see. I don't want to forget. Jenny
Yankees
had
are losing
one.
5-3 in the ninth.
Jenny also had the. My friend Jenny Britt had gross table habits, chewing with mouth open, blowing nose, people using their own fork for a shared platter. God, I hate that. So those were solid, Jenny, very solid ones. And, okay, Les Deegan. Les Deegan,
that's your pet peeve?
Les Deegan.
He's a nice man.
I love Les Deegan, although his messages can be a little lengthy sometimes. But hold on a second. Les just said that it drives me nuts when people say by mistake and then says I lied. Les, the gig is next Friday. Oh, wait, I lied. It's really Saturday. No, you didn't lie. You gave me wrong information by mistake. It was an error, not a lie.
Yeah.
So that's a big pet peeve of Lef's.
Exactly.
He explained that in depth
all the time now.
Yeah, he
I've
does
never
that all
seen
the
that
time.
man upset in my life.
Okay. We're 7 minutes over, which we almost never go over like that. But we had a lot of shit to talk about. We're riding a wave from last week. We're going to hit another 20,000 on TikTok this week.
Right.
I made some notes as to which ones we're going to go ahead and cut up and splice.
Nice.
And when I say we, I mean me, or maybe Boy Friday will do
Jake's
that.
gonna do it.
Really quick before we leave the air tonight, you got to plug something, buddy?
Sure. Friday night, I'm going to be at Stereo Garden in Patchogue.
Okay.
Saturday night, I'll be at the Mount Sinai Yacht Club and the Stony Brook Yacht Club.
Nice.
I'm doing double dip in yacht clubs.
Double dip.
Thursday night, it's a friend of mine's doing this fundraiser. It's for the Emerald Society in Yonkers.
Okay, great.
If anybody's around Thursday night, it's a cool little fundraiser. There's going to be a DJ. And,
Beautiful.
And it'll be fun.
Okay.
Are you not? I'm showing a graphic.
I messed up on my calendar.
Okay.
Yeah.
But go to that show though. It's gonna be a good show. Eric Caston has a show here in the in the Giggle Room, and I messed up on my calendar. I put the wrong day on it, but it's a great show. Go to that show. That's right here at Governor's, and everybody should go there.
Beautiful. All right, Tony, go ahead and pop what you got coming up imminently, and then we'll hang up for the night.
We're doing Murder Mystery at the Brokerage in Belmore this Friday. It's a redneck wedding. It's a lot of fun. Come to.
How's it looking? Ticket sales okay? You got a little activity going on?
No.
Nothing yet.
No,
you always get last minute people for that.
I'm hoping. I mean, it's up to around 30.
You'll have 70 before you know it.
I sure hope so. The game show I had for Saturday canceled because we had low ticket sales as well, so it's a good week for me.
All right. Well, if you guys have nothing to do on Friday night, Tony's Knock 'em Dead Comedy is doing the Murder Mystery at the Brokerage. Everyone has a lot of fun with that. You will too.
It's an awesome show. It's
Go
a great
have some
night
laughs and some fear or whatever is going to be part of it. And that's
get the chicken tidbits.
Oh, that's so good. The steak tidbits, you mean?
The chicken and the steak. The buffalo chicken tidbits are very good.
Oh, man,
but the steak tidbits are awesome, too. So go to watch a murder mystery, get the tidbits, and have a grapefruit and vodka.
Nice. All right, folks. We love you. Thank you. We'll remind you next week to start voting for the Long Island Press Best Podcast, and more importantly, Mike's Republican quest to be the best Republican of the year. And that's it. Have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday. See ya.
Good night.